My name's Barbara, and I've been in this church since I was younger than you, and but we didn't used to come in to the sanctuary as regularly as you do. So things always can improve. Okay, so I have a brief question. Who here has ever gone to a public library? or a school library in your school? Anybody? Oh. Did you get to take books out and take them home? Yeah? Okay, me too. All right, so I'm going to tell a story about a young man who was not allowed to do that, to go to a library, public library, and take books home. But he did find a way. His name was Richard Wright, and this book is based on something that really happened in his life, although some of it, some parts of the story were added. So here we go. Okay, it's called Richard Wright and the Library Card. And it's written by William Miller and illustrated by Gregory Christie. Okay, so Richard loved the sound of words and the stories his mother and grandfather told. His family was poor, moved many times, but his mother, a country school teacher, always read to him. Books were expensive, and the doors of the library were shut against him because he was black. Dreaming of moving north to Chicago, Illinois, Richard worked sweeping floors in an eye doctor's office in Memphis, Tennessee. At night, he dreamed of being able to have books to read, the thousands that were in the public library, but only white people could get a card. Richard had a plan. He asked a white coworker if he could borrow his library card. The coworker said yes, and told Richard to say he would be getting the books for the white man and not for himself. Richard walked toward the library with the precious card in his hands. Easier way to do this. At the library, people stared. The librarian was puzzled, but Richard was permitted to walk to the shelves and touch the books he had dreamed about for such a long time. The librarian was suspicious when Richard came to check out the books. He promised her they were for his white coworker, and even said that he didn't know how to read. That night, Richard read until his eyes felt dim. He read books by white people far away, who had suffered as he had, white people who would not lock him out of a library. Richard took the books to work and showed them to his helper. Though the other workers laughed when they saw Richard reading during his breaks, the day came when Richard could leave for Chicago. He shook hands with his friend. Oh, you have a question?
Why is not allowed to go to the library?
Okay, well, this was a time, she's asking why he wasn't allowed to go. This was a time in our country, especially in certain parts of the country, I don't want to name names, where people, if they had a darker skin, literally couldn't go into the library. And sometimes the community, the black community, would make its own library. And there's another story about a Shakespearean actor who found a way also. But this was a time, long time before you were born. So no one here has to worry about that. But I think it's important that we remember. On the train going north, Richard remembered the books he had read. Every page was a ticket to freedom, to the place where he would always be free. Richard Wright went on to become a famous writer whose books, including poetry, were read all around the world. Today in America, every library is open to everyone, no matter the color of their skin. So grab your library card and head over there soon. Thank you.